Gets all bummed out thinking about the end of summer, but we do have to tell you that the September issue of Down East magazine is here. It's the Best of Maine issue, always one of my favorites, and with us here to talk about it as usual, Editor-in-Chief Brian Kevin. I got mixed feelings. This summer just went by way too fast.
September is, however, the best month of summer, if you count September as summer, which I certainly do.
Agreed. So it is the annual Best of Maine issue. In general, what was your approach this year?
We turned it over to the readers in a bigger way than we ever have before. We had more participation, low 5 digits of people, voting and nominating online. And then we kind of went through the reader picks, which I'm just going to say over the years have gotten better and more interesting. I think our readers are just getting, I don't know if they're smarter and more sophisticated or what, but it was a really interesting bunch of picks in more than 50, I think 60 categories. And we sort of called out some very first timers that have never popped up as a nominee before, and then some businesses and organizations and people and things that have been in there year after year after year, the stalwarts.
One of the things I always like about looking at the article is that, hey, it gives me ideas about, I want to go check out that place, I want to go do that. And I know that that happens with many readers. So let's just talk about a few of the winners from this year. And we're going to begin with a place that's fairly new. I was not familiar with it. Sounds like it's got great desserts. It's called Freya's, and it's in Rockport.
Yeah, just down the road from our offices. It just popped up earlier this year. I just opened, I think, last year. The folks that run Freya's moved to Maine during the pandemic, had a dream to open some kind of business, and settled onto the really amazing combination of excellent gelato, ice cream, sorbet, crepes. And what I really love about it is it's a place you can get a cone, and you can also get a glass of beer and a glass of wine. They have an outstanding view of Rockport Harbor, kind of a quintessential summer must-go kind of place.
All sounds pretty nice. A store that is familiar to a lot of your readers and our viewers is Colburn's Shoe Store in Belfast, and it was also familiar to their parents and their grandparents and their great-grandparents and so on.
Yeah, I will tell you, I'll be honest with you, I actually hate buying shoes, and if people who know me will laugh because I will wear the same pair of Chacos and bean boots until they just disintegrate on my feet. But I have gone into Coburn's on several occasions. I have purchased shoes there before. And it is in Belfast on Main Street, just this kind of like quintessential old school neighborly small town retail experience where the folks who are in there, the fellow who runs it now, his dad just retired as the manager in the spring after, I want to say 51 years or something. It's been in the family a whole lot longer than that. They know what they're doing. They're pleasant. You can get an amazing bargain in the basement, and I think it's what people get nostalgic about when they think about what retail used to be like in this country.
And it has been around since the 1800s.
It is the oldest shoe store in America.
Absolutely extraordinary. One more, H&E Paint Bar in Portland. The name just maybe a tad, not misleading, a tad creative, let's call it.
Yeah, so H&E are the initials of the owners of the business. I am not, I've never had a Manny nor a Petty. However, I have taken to following these guys on Instagram, and the incredibly creative and artistic and hyper-detailed, like tiny creations that they put on people's nails have to be seen to be believed. Did ask a handful of friends and colleagues who have spent time there who gushed about how friendly and creative the technicians are. People are a big fan of getting a complimentary glass of wine and a cocktail when you come in. And these guys are so popular that when they opened up a few years ago, they had to open a second location within like 6 months. So it speaks well of it.
Well, let's talk about another article in the magazine that's not related to the best of, and it's about the resurgence of Waterville, fueled in large part by the money that Colby College has invested in downtown.
Yeah, and so a lot of ink has been spilled over this project over the course of the last few years. Really just this year, it's kind of come to fruition with the opening of the big new arts center downtown. The lovely hotel and new dorm have been up that Colby helped to build over the course of the last few years. And Alex Hall, a terrific journalist who happens to be married to a native Watervillian and run in circles with a bunch of native Watervillians, went around town and spoke to folks about not only kind of what their expectations are for how this will reshape the downtown core, but how some of that new prosperity and new investment might filter out to the rest of the community. And I think what she heard back was a lot of hope and maybe a little bit of skepticism, and the way those two things filter together in a place like Waterville are interesting.
Before we go, I want to note that you have been appearing on 207 for about a decade now. And this is your final appearance because you're going to be leaving as Editor-in-Chief of Down East.
I just shipped my last issue, the October issue of Down East, yesterday. It is extremely emotional. It's been an incredible privilege and an incredible time being a part of something that has 70 years of history behind it. 80,000 readers around the world who are all kind of united in this like passion for the Maine mystique, and like just some of the best colleagues you could really ever hope for. I've been so lucky to do it. It's the best job in Maine, sorry. And I'm going to miss it.
I've got one of the best jobs in Maine, and one of the reasons is because I get to talk to people like you, and it's been a pleasure to have had you here in this chair more than 100 times.
I have enjoyed every single one of those appearances, and I thank you so much for having me.
And thank you for what you have brought to our show, and thank you for bringing Down East to our viewers, because you should be proud of what you have done.
I'm sticking around Maine, and so I imagine I will continue to see people at Hannaford who say, I know you from 207, which happens all the time.
Hope so. Brian Kevin, the outgoing editor-in-chief of Down East.
Thanks.
Stay with us. We're going to be back right after this.